All right. Sorry about that. Once again, hello and good morning, and welcome to this exclusive show of Pragnaa with two very eminent personalities who have been paving the way and showing hope and determination for several people. I take great pride in welcoming to our panel discussion today Aditya Tiwari and Ashok Mune, who will be joining us in a few minutes. Aditya, as many of you here know, has been the force behind bringing about a change in the adoption laws of India, allowing single men to adopt. More importantly, he has been a great inspiration following his adoption of Avnish, a brilliant child with Down syndrome. For the uninitiated, you must check out the pages on Facebook and on Instagram called Life with Avnish, which is managed by Aditya, and which is a very beautiful chronicle of this beautiful parent child relationship. Today, we are here to discuss several things, among which the most important one is Aditya is embarking on a very fabulous journey with Avnish, where they will be scaling the Mount Everest. We will hear more about this from him during our conversation today. So, welcome to Pragnaa's discussion, Aditya.
Thank you.
Yeah, very soon we will be joined by Ashok Mune, and when he is here, I would like to introduce him in person to you all. I think he is here. Let me just make a quick check. No, he's not here. Okay. Um, before we begin today's conversation, I would like to thank our media partners, iAsia News Music, for broadcasting this discussion live across 170 plus countries. I would like to especially give a shout out to Dr. Krishna Puttaparthi, who is the CEO of iAsia News in Dallas, Texas, Anu Benakati, who is the COO of iAsia News, and its very dynamic team in India, Vidya Sagar, who is the COO of iAsia News Music, Head of Creative Design and Technical, Jayant, Head of Public Relations, Vinuta Jayant, along with Kishore Bhatia from Dubai, and managers for social media, Anandita and Sagar. With this, let me begin by asking you, Aditya, where did now you are intending to scale the Mount Everest with Avnish. So where did this whole idea of scaling the Mount Everest come from?
Just because when I realized that there are various limitations people have created in their mind, and that is stopping the person with intellectual disability to explore the world. So I believe that everyone have a potential, and they can explore the nature. So, and up to certain extent, right? And in fact, for the most important thing is to try to explore. We cannot say this is not possible just because the child is intellectual disability. It's not possible. It is not going to happen. Nobody have done it before. Why you want to do? So these are the excuses. I know it's difficult. I know in fact, we are trying. This is the first attempt. Right. So we will reach, not reach. That is the second thing. But the first important thing, someone has to try. Then only we will know what next. Right. So in fact, and now when I discuss with Avnish, and then when he shows an interest in tracking, and when he agree that yes, we can go, and of course there are a lot of means the pre-equities are there in terms of preparation. It's not possible like in the city where we are, that we are on the low altitude, so do the tracking on the high altitude, it's not possible. And second thing, when I look for the support in terms of the information, support means information, how to plan. So it was very difficult to find the people or the information that what are the like it's for training and preparation. Okay, so
Right.
I came in contact with Ashok as well, because he is the one with the physical special need, and who climbed to Mount Everest early, and just to know his experiences, views, because it's not a cup of everyone's tea. Most
Absolutely.
of the people are just saying that even the professional don't go for it. It's difficult. So I know the life is difficult at every moment. Even if you are driving on a road, the life is difficult. Even you are
Absolutely.
driving safely, but somebody is not driving it safely. It may cause a problem to you. So my point is, why we are putting our people with intellectual disability under the restriction? Why don't we are not giving them chance to go on the high altitude, whatever altitude they can reach, but they must know, they can feel where they are, right? So that's what the idea is, and that is the reason we thought we will start with the uh, For Mount Everest it is the top, it means it's just we want to be on the top of the world, because most of the time, in fact, when I say, and when the people or the new parents, they know about Down syndrome, and they say, are they are so much down? That is the reason they are called as down. No, in fact, they can go on the top of the world as well. It just only you need to believe in your child, and you must have trust in the child, and then anything is possible.
Absolutely, because I think even it's not just about children with special needs. I think even children without any of the special needs also, parents are pretty petrified about taking them onto the Mount Everest. So it's a very brave thing. But before we go ahead, Aditya, I'm
Ashok
happy
has joined.
to
Yeah.
introduce all of you to Ashok Mune. Hello, Ashok. Welcome to the panel discussion today with Pragnaa.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi. For everyone here on our live today, we have with us today a very inspiring person. What I'm going to tell you about Ashok Mune is probably just the tip of the iceberg of what he has done and what he has achieved. After losing a limb to a train accident in 2008, Ashok decided to beat every odd possible and prove that if one puts their heart and soul into achieving something, they can do it with absolute candor. Apart from being a renowned para-athlete, a paraglider, a scuba diver, a marathoner, a black belt in martial arts, I have very few fingers to count what he has achieved. He is also a mountaineer. He conquered the Mera Peak in Nepal and has scaled the Mount Everest in 2016, missing the summit by just a few meters. And in 2018, he, along with Vinod Rawat, who is another, person with disability, another para-athlete, I would say, became the first set of people with disabilities to compete in the Raid the Himalaya, which is among the world's toughest 10 rallies. So, welcome once again, Ashok.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, Ashok, I was just having a word with Aditya about, where did this idea of scaling the Mount Everest stem from? So I'm going to ask you the same question. What was it that inspired you to scale the Himalaya, decide that you want to conquer the Himalaya?
जब 2008 में मैम मेरा एक्सीडेंट हो गया और एक्सीडेंट के बाद 2 गलत ऑपरेशन हो गए मेरे हॉस्पिटल में और स्टूडेंट एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रहे थे और डॉक्टर उन्हें पढ़ा रहे थे, तो उस चक्कर में क्या हो गया कि दोनों ऑपरेशन गलत हो गए और मैं घर पे बेड पे चला गया। पैसे खत्म हो गए, ऑपरेशन के लिए पैसे नहीं बचे और गांव का घर जो था वो भी गिर गया। तो उस दौरान में ऐसा हो गया कि 6 महीना ब्लीडिंग कंटिन्यू होती रही और 65 केजी वेट कम हो गया, अस्थमा हो गया। तो सिचुएशन ऐसी आ गई कि एक तो पैर नहीं है, पैसे भी नहीं है और कुछ नहीं है, सब खत्म हो गया। तो लोगों का कहना था कि अब ये कुछ नहीं कर सकता, इसको तो कटोरा लेके भीख मांगना पड़ेगा। और वो जो वर्ड मैंने सुना कि बॉडी का कोई एक पार्ट ना होने के वजह से अगर कोई इंसान ऐसा सोचता है कि कुछ भी नहीं कर सकता, तो उस चीज का मुझे बहुत दुख हुआ और उसी दिन मैंने ठान लिया कि इसके बाद अशोक मुन्ने ऐसी जिंदगी जिएगा, जिनके पास 2 पैर है ना उनको भी लगेगा जिंदगी अशोक मुन्ने जैसी होनी चाहिए। और उस दिन से मेरी शुरुआत शुरू हुई। फिर एक एनजीओ ने मेरा ऑपरेशन किया। उसी ऑपरेशन के दौरान मैंने एवरेस्ट वाली न्यूज देखी और वो देखने के बाद मुझे लगा कि मेरे लिए सबसे मुश्किल काम इस दुनिया का माउंट एवरेस्ट चढ़ना है या पहाड़ चढ़ना है, तो मैं वही करूंगा जो मेरे लिए सबसे मुश्किल है। और मेरी एवरेस्ट की जर्नी वहां से शुरू हो गई।
थैंक यू वेरी मच अशोक। बहुत अच्छी बात कही आपने कि ऐसी कोई चीज नहीं है जिसको हम कॉन्कर नहीं कर सकते हैं। तो फॉर दोज who do not understand Hindi on our viewership, Ashok says that after the accident he became practically like a lab rat where certain surgeries went wrong, and then he underwent a lot of financial difficulties, but then after that he did go on to prove to them that there's nothing that can deter anyone from conquering what they want to. So Aditya, a quick question to you now. Have you trekked with Avnish earlier anywhere else?
Right. So before giving answer to your question, first, so Ashok, वो जर्नी माउंट एवरेस्ट का आपका स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ था, वो जर्नी एक पूरी कम्युनिटी का हुआ था, that उसी में हम भी belong करते हैं और उसी के कारण हम भी कोशिश कर रहे हैं, just because of your efforts, which is giving us some also a motivation that we can also do. Right, so it's not
Absolutely.
your journey, and you are motivating us. Otherwise, we don't have experience on the high altitude. Yes, coming to your questions. So see, there are two different things. One is the trekking experience. Second is the high altitude. Okay,
Right.
so I took Avnish. In fact, we were there in Kashmir for around 8 days, and
Okay.
for the trekking and having an experience on the high altitude and the Gulmarg, Sonmarg, and Pahalgam. So he was fine. There is no health issues are there, and it was just like a pre-equities. So before going for next month for another track, so we must have at least experience on the high altitude. And also I explored with Ladakh, which is on 3,500 meter above sea level last year in October. Okay, so I tried my best to take him on the tracks and the having giving an experience on the high altitude.
Okay. So there has been quite some ground preparation that you've been doing for a while, but why is this trek so important for you and Avnish? At this point in time, and before that, I would like you to also share what is Avnish's age, because there are a lot of parents who are apprehensive about what their kids can do in life, what they can achieve. So I want you to give them that inspiration, by telling them that age doesn't matter, as long as the parent and the child are like fixed on the fact that they want to go ahead and do something together, and they're going to stand by each other.
Okay, so Avnish age is 7, and in fact, that question you ask कि क्यों कर रहे हैं हम, क्या जरूरत है? So, like rightly said by Ashok, because again it's a mindset. Okay, and we come to the conclusion and soon when we identified कि things are not as per our expectation. Like if somebody have a physical need, it means कि वो नहीं कुछ sports नहीं कर सकता, trekking नहीं कर सकता, physical activities नहीं कर सकता. For the same with the any people have intellectual disability. So intellectual disability में physical and mental milestones delay होते, that means कि वो दोनों नहीं कर सकता. And see, the point is not we are scaling, we are trying, we are attempting. It's not about me and Avnish. Avnish is representing the community. It's not only about the disability. No child with orphan have gone for a tracking. In fact, when you look for the orphan child, yeah, what comes in our mind? कि they must get the food, they must get the clothes, more ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा उसको most education मिल जाए, or best to best is just a family or a home. That's it. We don't think when you go to the orphanage that the orphan child also can independently live his life, explore the world, go for a trekking, go for the various things to explore. Right? We don't give a thought when you meet with the orphan child. You
Right.
don't give a thought when you meet with a child with a birth defect. Down syndrome is one of the birth defects. There are various other birth defects are there. So Avnish was an orphan child, immediately left by the biological parents just because they feel that the child is a waste. They are shameful on him. That was their words. And he was in orphanage for 2 years, and everybody was just giving a sympathy that the child should die or child. It is very difficult to find a family for him. Once got the custody of a child, then I realized that apart from a Down syndrome, he has other birth defects as well. So that also need to be taken care of. And also, there are certain limitations, and we need to understand and agree and accept it. But on the other side, we need to give the opportunity to explore the nature because nature has a power to heal, and we are not exploring for him. It is just not a climbing to the Mount Everest. He can be a like a support for the other trackers who wish to track the mountain, right?
Right.
It can be work as a shadow. It can be like a livelihood option, and this tracking is the start of our journey to exploring the nature to the world. It's not the end, or it's not only the target we want to achieve. So there are various things we have planned. This is the attempt. Okay. I am not, we are not saying that we are going to achieve it at the first attempt. It's very difficult, right? But the point is, we already have achieved and crossed when we have planning to explore the Mount Everest.
Right.
It's a risk of a life, of course, but I understand that. But every day, everyone have a risk of it. Nobody have a control on it, right? So Avnish is just 7, and this is the first attempt, and let's see how it goes. And he had a experience on the high altitude in Ladakh, in Srinagar, Kashmir, Pahalgam, Gulmarg, Sonmarg are all around 2,700 meter above sea level.
Right.
Right. So our journey from Mount Everest will start from Kathmandu. Kathmandu is the place where you need to first fly from
Okay.
India, and then you need to go to Lukla. So from Kathmandu to Lukla, there is around 45 minutes flight, and Lukla is around 7,050 meter above sea level, equivalent to the altitude we were in Kashmir, same as Sonmark.
Okay.
So it
So
will start from here, and also for the tracking thing, see, nobody have done it with the intellectual disability. I am trying my best to explore all the option, meeting with the people who have done it before, taking their advices, guidance, right? So that's what I'm doing it, and of course, the information I have later, it is going to help to the people who want to plan it. What are the pre-equities? What are the requirements in terms of medicines, in terms of clothes, in terms of logistic, in terms of how to do the preparation? You want to go in a group, you want to go as a separate. So there are various things we can tell them, and Ashok is the one who is guiding me as well for this. I approach him. I ask him, please help me out because you are the one. And see, I cannot approach to anyone because people have their own mindset, own the thoughts, own belief system. पागल हो दिमाग खराब है क्यों कर रहे हो there are very less people you will find that they will say okay go for it we will support you that's the mindset we need to explore it like he told me he helped me to understand about the logistics he helped me to understand about the medical needs he helped me to understand about the food weather and of course with the guide what kind of guide so that's what the people we need and that's the reason I told him that it's not your journey it's the part of our journey as well.
great.
So
Absolutely.
that's what we want for others, the whole community of orphan, disability, and with birth defects.
Absolutely. So, that definitely brings me to my next question. तो अशोक जी, ये सवाल आपके लिए है. तो जब आपने डिसाइड किया कि आप एवरेस्ट चढ़ना चाहते हैं, तो कौन-कौन सी चीजें आपने ध्यान में रखी फ्रॉम अ मेडिकल पर्सपेक्टिव, यानी कि हेल्थ के हिसाब से आपने कैसे प्रिपरेशंस किए?
सबसे पहले तो जब मेरा शुरू हुआ तो मुझे सेकंड स्टेज अस्थमा था और अस्थमा के साथ छोटा पहाड़ चढ़ना भी बहुत मुश्किल हो रहा था और मेडिकल फील्ड में उसके लिए कोई ट्रीटमेंट भी नहीं था। उस दौरान सबसे पहले मैं ब्रह्मानंद सरस्वती जो रामदेव बाबा के गुरु है उनके यहाँ 1 हफ्ता रह के कुछ ऐसे प्राणायाम सीखे जिसके वजह से 3 महीने में मैं अस्थमा से नॉर्मल हो गया और 6 महीने में मैं पूरी तरह फिट हो गया। उसके बाद वॉकिंग शुरू किया, वॉकिंग के बाद फिर दौड़ना शुरू किया, स्विमिंग शुरू किया और स्विमिंग के बाद में साइक्लिंग शुरू किया। तो जो भी माउंटेनियरिंग को सपोर्ट करने वाली एक्सरसाइजेस थी, वो सारी मैंने शुरू की। तो जो एक वीक लड़का था 40 केजी का, वो फिर से दोबारा 1 साल के अंदर 1 या 1.5 साल के अंदर में वापस से नॉर्मल हो गया और वहां से सफर शुरू हुआ ट्रेकिंग का। तो ट्रेकिंग में उक्ति पास से शुरू करके मीरा पिक करके फिर मेरा एवरेस्ट का सफर 2016 में शुरू हुआ। तो इस दौरान कई सारे मेडिकल चैलेंजेस थे कि मेरा आर्टिफिशियल पैर है तो उसके साथ क्लाइंब कैसे करना है, उसको माइनस डिग्री में उसको बचाना कैसे है कि ठंडी में पैर फ्रीज होने से बचे, सॉकेट के ऊपर कौन से लेयर चढ़ाना है। तो मेरे लिए फिजिकल फिटनेस से ज्यादा बड़े चैलेंजेस ये थे कि मेरे आर्टिफिशियल पैर के साथ में मुझे उस वहां पे कैसे सरवाइव करना है। तो ऑलरेडी जो लोग वो कर चुके थे ऐसे लोगों के साथ बात करके मुझे बहुत सारी नई नई चीजें पता चली और इस सफर में सबसे कारगर रही बुक मार्क इंग्लिश करके एक बुक है। वो बुक में सारी चीजें बताई गई थी जो भी मेरे लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम आने वाले थे और ऐसे करके मेडिकल से लेके तो बाकी सारी चीजों के लिए मुझे अलग अलग लोगों से गाइडेंस मिलता रहा और जब मैं पूरी तरह फिट हो गया तो 2016 में मेरा चाइना साइड से क्लाइंबिंग शुरू हुआ।
ओके। Fantastic. So, Aditya, from Avnish's perspective now, what were the medical fitness aspects that you both had to look into? Now that you've decided to climb the peak, and I'm sure there's been like quite a lot of preparations that are going on. So, how long has been your preparations? What are the medical aspects that you all had to look into? To ensure that you could now get started with the trek. But before you answer that question, to all our viewers present here today, we have posted a link on the chat. I request you to kindly go ahead and check that out. That has all the details about Aditya's trek with Avnish. And if any of you would like to be generous sponsors to help him out, with this particular expedition and bring about a change of mindset in this world, please do your bit. So over to you, Aditya. Aditya, I think you're muted. We can't hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, so the major challenge is the altitude. And to cope up with the altitude, the only first thing is need to go on the high altitude, do the acclimatize properly, and check how the body is responding. That's the reason I went to Kashmir, and earlier I went to Ladakh as well. Okay, so altitude is the first thing. Second thing is the stamina building exercises. Okay, breathing exercise. Also, child must know and explain if facing any problem, because acute mountain sickness is very common. Brain edema is the another problem, right? So these are the two things, and maybe there are various, but we need to work on in terms of also focusing on his diet and also telling him, see, when you go for a track, so there are two things which of course three, but the two things which are actually physical and psychologically strong. Your mentally should be strong. You know where are you going, what are the challenges. So I'm telling him, he understands where he's going. If you ask where he is going, and he will tell you trekking, Mount Everest. Okay, and of course, the next one is the financial. So I'm exploring all the options in terms of if anything's went wrong. I've spoken with the allopathy, Ayurveda, and homeopathy doctors as well. If is there anything, so there is no medicine if you go on high altitude. It's just only to help you to sustain for some time. The only medicine is you have to come to the lower altitude. Okay.
Okay.
And for the medical point of view, stamina building exercise is very important. Like he said, Ashok has also mentioned the same thing. So cycling, running, walking, stairs, all that he's doing, and he's in the army school. And
Okay.
we are very thankful to the army school that they have allowed one-to-one physical trainer as well. So he's helping him in terms of building exercise building, stamina building exercises in a school. So in morning 1 hour, and also in the evening we are working with him at home. So the breathing exercise we are more focusing on, and various other small things are there. So even I am learning, exploring, talking with the various people, and making a note of it. So I can guide others that how to do the preparation.
Great. So, what is the amount of weight that you presume that you will be carrying along with you on this trek?
Okay, I am doing the weight training. So I'm doing a weight training with Avnish. So I need to hold at least 30 kg of weight. So in case if any problems happen, so I can hold them on my back. So that's training I'm doing it even on the high altitude. So 30 kgs, yeah.
30 kgs is insane, but I'm so glad that you're doing it, and all the best to you. So, how long do you anticipate this trek to be, Aditya? How long do you think? And what is the? Have you set like a bar that this is where we want to go? If we can go above that, it's great, but at least this is what we want to achieve.
See, in fact, you can ask Ashok. He have visited it, and then I can give my answer that how it's different when
Okay.
I'm planning. Yeah, because he already went there, right? So he's the one, and then I can tell you how it's a difference for what we are planning.
अशोक जी आप बता सकते हैं?
मैम सवाल
कितना दिन में माउंट एवरेस्ट बेस
क्या
कैंप
पूछा
पहुंचा
मैम
जा
आपने?
सकता है? माउंट एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप कितने दिन में पहुंचा जा सकता है?
हेलो
हाँ, अशोक जी सुनाई दे रहा है आपको?
हाँ
तो आपको कितने दिन लगे बेस कैंप तक चढ़ने के लिए?
बेस कैंप एक्चुअली मैम मैं चाइना साइड से क्लाइम किया था एवरेस्ट, तो चाइना साइड में डायरेक्ट बस चली जाती है बेस कैंप पे, लेकिन नेपाल साइड में 1 वीक लगता है नॉर्मल इंसान को चढ़ने में। मतलब टोटल 15 दिन का शेड्यूल है जो चढ़ना और उतरना करने के लिए। तो 15 दिन पकड़ के चलते हैं कि बेस कैंप चढ़ना है, 18,000 फीट क्लाइम करना है, फिर से वापस आना है।
और वहां से आप कहाँ कहाँ तक पहुंचे उसके बाद?
मैं उसके बाद पहुंचा लास्ट जो कैंप है, कैंप 5, और उसके बाद समिट आता है। तो कैंप 5 के बाद जर्नी शुरू हुई हमारी। उस दौरान काफी सारे एक्सीडेंट्स हो रहे थे, वेदर चेंज हो गया था और इंडियन मानसून सक्रिय हो गया था। तो 2016 में 5 इंडियंस की डेथ हो गई थी उस तूफानी मौसम में। तो उस दौरान फिर मुझे आखिरी में 350 मीटर छोड़ के वापस लौटना पड़ा एवरेस्ट से।
350?
तो हाँ, 8,500 मीटर मैंने क्लाइम कर लिया था, 350 मीटर लास्ट में छूट गया मेरा।
So Ashok was just short of 350 meters of hitting the summit. So Aditya, now can we hear from you?
Okay, so what he said, in fact, for the typical person, minimum 12 to 14 days are required.
Right.
Okay, for a typical person from Lukla to Everest Base Camp and coming down from there, we are planning for at least 21 days.
Got it.
So 21 days is just to acclimatize it properly. In fact, where the typical person are giving 1 day to acclimatize, we are giving at least 2 or 3 days to acclimatize. And also the target is of course the base camp, Everest Base Camp. But see, once we reach Lukla, in fact, and I have explored the medical checkposts as well. So how Avnish is responding, his physical, his saturation, heartbeats, and also arrange the oxygen cylinder as well. So it is going to be with us. So once we reach, if everything goes fine, so after 2 days we will go to Namche Bazaar. Namche Bazaar is almost equal height to the Ladakh. It's 3,500 meter above sea level. And then after the major challenges starts. Once you reach now, even to reach to the Namche Bazaar, it's very difficult. It will take to the typical person 7 to 8 hours walking, continuous track. So it is going to be very difficult for us. So it starts from there, and let's see. At least we will give 2 days time to acclimatization. Acclimatization is very important, and also exploring the option for the airlift in case of any problems happen, because that is the only option. But struggling to find the insurance companies for now who can cover it. So there is only one option, that is the airlift.
Right. So how much is this entire expedition of yours costing you? What's the estimate that we're looking at?
Okay, so per day expenses is around 12,000 rupees. So if it's 21 days, so it's 21 into 12, and that includes the guide to Sherpas, their food, accommodation, mine and Avnish accommodation, and food. So for almost for 5 people, okay, per day expenses are, and 12,000 rupees INR. Apart from that, the ticket expenses from Indore, Delhi, Kathmandu, to and fro, then Kathmandu to Lukla, Lukla to Kathmandu. And when you go from Kathmandu to Lukla, so my guide, he is from Kathmandu. Okay, so I have to book a ticket for him as well. So I have to pay the ticket for him. So, and then after the logistic, then the oxygen support. So oxygen we are taking on rent. So per day expenses for the oxygen cylinder is at least 2,000 rupees.
Okay.
Yeah, so it comes around 5 lakh rupees.
Great.
And insurance is yet to happen.
So for all our viewers present here today, both at the Pragnaa platforms and on iAsia News Music's platforms, if you are interested in helping Aditya by, partly funding a part of his expedition, please do click on the link that we've shared on the chat, or you can visit pragnaa.com and go on to the resources page, where you'll find details about, how you can help Aditya with regard to financing or sponsoring a part of this expedition, and fuel his dream further of making this whole world that we live in a lot more inclusive, because everybody has special abilities in very different ways, and it's time that we start breaking the barriers and looking at everybody with the same lens, because all of us are special in our own unique ways. Given this, we are ready to open the floor to questions from our audience. While you do start sending in your questions, Ashok ji, आपसे एक सवाल पूछना था. तो आपने एवरेस्ट 12 साल पहले चढ़ा था?
नहीं मैम, 2016 में,
2016
अभी 6
2016
साल
में.
पहले।
तो उसके बाद आप वापस गए?
नहीं, उसके बाद मेरा 2019 में रजिस्ट्रेशन हुआ था दोबारा जाने का, तो उस दौरान पेंडेमिक के चलते वो कैंसिल हो गया उस साल का पूरा एक्सपेडिशन, तो जा नहीं पाया। और उसके बाद मेरी जो कंपनी थी, स्पॉन्सरर कंपनी, तो उनका फाइनेंशियल लॉस होने की वजह से उन्होंने अभी 2 साल होल्ड पे रख दिया मेरा एक्सपेडिशन, तो उसके वजह से मैं जा नहीं पाया। शायद नेक्स्ट ईयर का प्लान चल रहा है अभी, तो हो सकता है 2023 में मैं निकल जाऊं एवरेस्ट के लिए।
बस यही दुआ है हमारी तरफ से कि आप एवरेस्ट चढ़े, वहां पे भारत का झंडा फहराए और सबको इतनी हिम्मत दे, एक आशा दे कि ना कि कोई भी अगर कुछ चीज करना चाहे तो बस वो कर सकते हैं.
जी बिल्कुल.
Okay, Aditya, we have a question for you. How excited is Avnish, and what are the expectations that you have set for him about the weather conditions? And like Ashok had pointed out, during our conversation today, that after he reached a certain altitude, when he was just 350 meters away from the summit, there was the whole weather had changed. So have you kind of braced Avnish to be prepared for such situations as well?
Yes, so working on it. And in terms of expectations, so see, whatever he's doing, it's best of his abilities, right? So there is no expectation because see, I don't want to set any goal and I don't want to stretch it unnecessary. जहाँ पे भी जा रहा है, जितना भी जा रहा है, that's it, and we have achieved. Simple.
Great.
Because we are breaking the barriers of the mindset, and we are just trying for the attempt. So wherever he goes, he is happy because see, it's not my aim, it's not my goal. We are doing it for the purpose, and for the purpose, his life is important, his safety is important, right? So we are not going to stretch it unnecessary. If it not works, that's absolutely fine. We will give another attempt. We will keep trying, right? Because
And
see, I heard from one of the Sherpas, so I believe he's the one of the best Sherpa in Mount Everest, and Mount Everest वहीं पर रहने वाला है, वो कहीं नहीं जाएगा. So don't stress yourself. You can come next time again with your more preparation and the experience you are going to have, and you can climb and you can give another attempt. Why you are just thinking this is the last chance? No, it is not going to last chance. Mount Everest is going to at the same place. So we also need to understand that. And there are various things I'm working on. It's not only the one thing. I'm working with Avnish. In fact, we need to take a permission from the Mount Everest. It's not me and Avnish that we are going to climb and we are going to achieve it. We need to see, as per the Sherpas, they take a permission, they do the prayer when they start a trek. I'm sure Ashok might know about it. So they have their own prayer, right? So we are doing it. So we are taking a permission from the Mount Everest. Please allow us to do this climbing as well. So there are various small things I'm working on. And the most important thing is the trust that we both are having,
right.
that we are going to together and we have to come together with all the without any medical issues, any health issues.
Absolutely. So, given this, children generally are, they kind of react very differently under various circumstances of stress. So, how are you as a parent prepared to handle this during the trek? Like,
See,
for instance, let me just give you an example. Like, maybe one day is like perfectly fine, but the other day, any child for that matter, would probably not want to climb or would not want to climb beyond a certain point or a certain period of time. So how exactly do you intend to handle this entire situation?
see, there are two things again. One is, of course, these are the things that we haven't experienced yet. So I cannot tell you that how I am going to react to that. Okay, because it's not only on his medical condition or his, it is impact on his health. It may be impacting on my health as well, right? So that's only the reaction you're talking about, the how I am going to react, so only once we are in that situation. But see, the reason we are doing, because we have, if you talk about Avnish, have faced a lot in his life. It's not you. It's not easy, or it's not right to compare with any other typical child or with an intellectual disability child. Just imagine the child was born and abandoned by the biological parent, and in an orphanage, nobody was there to give any care. Right? No proper food, no proper health measures, safety measures were taken care in the orphanage, right? And then he was there for 2 years, and then got adopted. And there was, apart from the medical condition, counsel of having various other health issues as well. But slowly start cope up. When he was born, and there was some issues with the knees, and doctor said he's not going to walk in his life. He is not going to ever walk in his life without support.
Mhm.
He's in the army school. He's going school. He's doing tracking to the to the low altitude up to 3,000 meter above sea level, right? So, and even he is going to attempt Mount Everest next month. So the journey is totally different from other kids. There is no comparison. But I believe the God has given us opportunity, and He is preparing Himself. God is preparing Himself immediately after the birth, because see, it's all about psychologically and mentally how you are tackling this. It's not
Absolutely.
only the physically, that you are physically strong and you can do that. No, I understand there is going to be a time where he's not going to eat anything, he's not ready to drink. There must be, he will feel uncomfortable. So I am telling you that only one option have to come down. We are not going to stretch, because see, there is no medical facility at that altitude. Only
Right.
one option, that is the airlift. So I'm going to get the extra Sherpa, just in case, if required, if I am tired, I cannot hold him, or if we require heavy and we have to run down to the lower altitude. So I'm going to get the extra Sherpa for him, just to look after him, to look after his face, any symptoms, anything is, if we found, and we are going back.
Right. So there is a question from one of our audience, Vidya Sagar, who asks that there are a lot of preparations that you have done. So, but considering that Avnish is a special needs child, will medical help be easily available for you? On your way
Yeah,
up.
that's what I'm saying. The limited medical help, in fact, a very less medical help is available. So the important thing we are looking for is, of course, the oxygen. See, of course, see, there are a generalization, medical help, what medical help? It's only depends when you are in that particular condition, right?
Right.
If it start bleeding, if it starts some other problem, that is different thing. And if the problem is because of the acute mountain sickness, it's because the altitude. So there is only one medicine. You need to calm down. You need oxygen support.
Right.
That's
Okay.
only the medicine is.
Got it. So, Aditya, how did people react when you mentioned you were going on a trip with Avnish? You did kind of touch upon this when we were talking, but if you could give us a little more insight into the real world reaction.
Okay. So, in fact, I had a discussion with Ashok. Okay, I believe, Ashok, if you want to answer what experience you have done, I can talk about it, because you have done it, right? You have achieved it, and I am trying. तो आप बोलेंगे कुछ इसके बारे में, कोई लोगों ने क्या बोला होगा आपको? You're on mute, I think, Ashok.
अशोक जी, आपको सुनाई दे रहा है?
हाँ, अभी अभी सुनाई दे रहे हैं
हाँ।
मैम।
Okay.
तो जब आपने लोगों को बताया कि आप एवरेस्ट चढ़ना चाहते हैं, तो उनका रिएक्शन कैसा था? उन्होंने क्या बोला आपको?
सबसे पहले तो करीबी जो लोग होते हैं, दोस्त लोग और रिलेटिव वगैरह, तो शुरुआत में जैसे मैंने बोला कि मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मुझे एवरेस्ट चढ़ना चाहिए और मैं उसके लिए तैयारी करना चाहता हूँ, तो मतलब ऐसे देख रहे थे कि जैसे मैं मंगल ग्रह पे जाने की बातें कर रहा हूँ, और ये इस जन्म में तो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है। तो किसी ने बोल दिया कि पहले जमीन पे तो ढंग से चलना सीख ले, बाद में माउंटेन की बात करना। तो ऐसे अलग अलग लोगों के रिएक्शंस थे। कोई बोल रहा पागल हो गया क्या, 2 पैर वालों के लिए मुमकिन नहीं है, तो तू क्या कर लेगा वहां जाके। तो ऐसे अलग अलग चीजें थी। उसी दौरान में अगर 10 लोग निगेटिव मिल रहे, तो एक कोई ऐसा बंदा होता था कि अगर तुझे लगता है ना तू कर लेगा, तो तू कर सकता है। तो मैंने उन 10 लोग को छोड़ के वो एक बंदे के साथ में बाकी की पूरी जर्नी शेयर करना सही समझा और आगे बढ़ता रहा।
और ये बात जो है लोगों ने आपको बताया जबकि आपने ऑलरेडी मेरा पीक चढ़ा था, और एंड फॉर द ऑडियंस हियर ही हैड क्लाइम्ब मेरा पीक विदाउट एनी ऑक्सीजन सपोर्ट.
हाँ, मेरे लिए तो मतलब सेकंड स्टेज अस्थमा था, और इस दौरान में मीरा पीक अगर मुझे चढ़ना है तो मीरा पीक के टाइम पे कंपनी के साथ मैं क्लाइम कर रहा था, तो उस कंपनी ने एक्स्ट्रा गाइड दे रखा था क्योंकि उन्होंने मेरी मेडिकल हिस्ट्री पढ़ रखी थी, और 2013 में इंडिया से कोई हैंडीकैप पर्सन नहीं था जो माउंटेन में गया हो। तो उनके लिए तो ऐसा था कि ये ज्यादा नहीं जाएगा, 25 दिन का एक्सपेडिशन है, ये 2-3 दिन में वापस लौट जाएगा, तो इसको वहीं से लेके आना, क्योंकि उनको पता था कि कंपनी को पेमेंट तो पूरा हो गया, तो अब ये बंदा चढ़े या ना चढ़े हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, आप बस लेके जाओ और 2 दिन बाद जब भी लौटना चाहिए इसको वापस लेके आओ। तो उनको शौक तब लगा कि जब मैं समिट तक पहुंच गया, और लास्ट में जब समिट हुआ तो वही कंपनी कॉल करके बोलती है कि अशोक को किसी भी हालात में सही सलामत वापस लेके आओ। और नेपाल मीडिया में पहली बार आता है कि कोई इंडियन ने मेरा पिक सबमिट किया, और उसी कंपनी ने बाद में मुझे इतना ज्यादा सपोर्ट किया कि आ, आप जब भी एवरेस्ट जाओगे तो हमारे कंपनी के साथ जाओ।
बहुत बढ़िया. So, Aditya, we have a question for you. One is, of course, you need to answer again, about how did people react when you mentioned you were going to trek with Avnish, and you did again touch upon this, but what kind of training are you looking at? When you're when I mean, what kind of training are you involved in personally? Is it gym or yoga or any kind of local preference food that you have been guided to start having as part of your preparations? Aditya, you're muted. No, we can't hear you still. No, Aditya, you're still not audible. Okay, while Aditya is trying to get his sound back, Ashok ji, आपसे एक सवाल है. ऑडियंस में से एक सवाल आया है कि आप कोई भी एक ऐसी घटना बता सकते हैं जो जो जैसे कोई अनफॉरगेटेबल इंसिडेंट है जो आपके साथ हुआ था जब आप एवरेस्ट चढ़ रहे थे.
एवरेस्ट के टाइम पे तो इतना कुछ नहीं था, वेदर चेंज हो गया था, और मतलब जैसे हम बेस कैंप पहुंचे तो बेस कैंप में ही एक एक्सपर्ट माउंटेनियर है, जापानीज था वो, 10 साल का एक्सपीरियंस था, और वो बंदा आता है बेस कैंप में, साथ में बातें होती है और वो सो जाता है, और दूसरे दिन वो बंदा उठता ही नहीं है। तो शॉकिंग हमारे लिए ये था कि सबसे एक्सपर्ट बंदा अगर ये है, और ये अगर इसकी अचानक से डेथ हो जाती है बेस कैंप पे, तो मतलब हम तो इन सब लोगों से काफी पीछे चल रहे हैं। उसके बाद अलग अलग दिन, एक दिन 2 दिन बाद खबर आती रहती है कि ये जो शेरपा रोप फिक्सिंग करने गया, ये इसमें से 2 का एक्सीडेंट हुआ और उसमें से एक नहीं बचा। तो ऐसे हर रोज अलग अलग टाइप के न्यूज आते रहते हैं, और वो न्यूज के साथ में आपको जीना पड़ता है वहां पे कि एक मतलब 15 दिन बाद 20 दिन बाद आपको आदत पड़ जाती है कि आज और किसी की डेथ हुई है, या कोई बड़ा एक्सीडेंट हुआ है, अवलांच आया है, उसके नीचे कोई दब गया है। तो ये कॉमन सी चीज हो जाती है कि कुछ तो भी हो रहा है, अगर कुछ हो नहीं रहा है तो वो शायद वो एवरेस्ट ही नहीं है।
बहुत अच्छी बात कही आपने. फॉर everyone present here today, we have shared a link on our on the chat, and we request you to kindly go check out that link, which has all the details about Aditya's trek with Avnish to the Mount Everest. And if any of you would like to sponsor his trek partly, please do the needful. Your little bit of help can definitely help Aditya and Avnish achieve their dream. So, Aditya, can you please do a sound check so we know your sound's working fine? Yeah, Aditya? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
You can hear me
Yes, sir.
now?
Yes, yes, we
Okay,
can.
yeah, sorry. What was the question? Sorry.
Yeah, so there were two questions. One is, what was people's reaction to, to you when you told them that you were going to trek with Avnish? And the second thing is, what kind of preparations have you been involved in? Has it been just gym or yoga, or are there any food preferences that depending on the kind of local food that's available, during the trek, are you all kind of getting used to eating that kind of food? And of course, there's another add on to this from my side. Are you also doing a lot of vertical climbing training?
Okay, so the first question is about the reaction from the people. So, as Ashok said, it's the same because unfortunately we have a mindset. In fact, this is not the first thing I'm doing when the time of adoption. The same thing whenever I try to do something different. So it's the same thing from the family, friends, society, and everyone. Why you are doing? Why it is required? And don't do this. Log kya kahenge? And of course, so I prefer not to share this information. But when I had a word with Ashok and he said, no, no, you see, you are not doing for yourself. You are doing it for a purpose. So start spreading it, but you have
Right.
to be very specific to whom you are sharing. If anybody is giving you a negative vibes, negative thoughts, just leave it. If anybody is talking positive, go for it. Because see, ultimately you have to go for a track. So you have to be physically, mentally, financially also prepared. He's the one suggested also just to start the fundraising as well. So the point is you have to only focus on the positive things. See, लोग हैं, they will लोगों का काम है बोलना. आप अच्छा करोगे तो भी बुरा करोगे तो भी. And some people they change their attitude or their mindset with the output. Right. So
Right.
I'm more focused about the output, and that's the reason in one of the conversation I had offline with your team that I have to be very. I want to be on the ground. I don't want to tell it to the larger audience, so they will create a problem for me and try to divert my mind from the focus. Because see, what we are doing, it's not that is something easy. That okay, it's a easy task. I know it is very difficult task. We are doing our preparation. I know what we are doing, right? And we will come to know more about it once we reach there. Okay.
Right.
And if I interacting with people and they are sharing their thoughts, their views, in fact, they don't have experience. And unfortunately, the people they don't have a trekking experience, they know more about traffic trekking. Right.
Right.
In the same way, जिन लोगों को adoption का experience नहीं था, they nobody have done the adoption, they know more about adoption. So in the same way, they
Right.
are sharing, no, don't do this, medical. What medical? Tell me specific about the medical means in terms of acute mountain sickness, now so oxygen support. So yes, we are aware of it. We are working on it. You know, the acute mountain sickness, I came to know when I go with Avnish on a Ladakh on 3,500 meter above sea level. When I went Ladakh 3 times before, I was not aware what is acute mountain sickness. लद्दाख गए लद्दाख में जाके होटल में गए अपना सामान रखा and we are going out for exploring Ladakh. We are going directly to do the thousands of meter above sea level immediately on the same day. And if you go to the professional, no, you have to be in Ladakh. You have to do the acclimatization at least for 2 days. अरे I am coming only for 3 days. 2 दिन acclimatize करके फिर निकल जाऊंगा दिल्ली. मतलब क्या रहेगा? What is the point, right? Every body is different. Every individual is different.
Correct.
So there are the typical people, they are getting problem even in the Kashmir if they go to high altitude. So see, we cannot generalize it. It's very difficult. The weight training I am doing, as I said, the only weight training I am doing, it's with my son, holding on my back, holding on my shoulders, holding him in my arms because I know he is 30 kg and that is the weight I need to lift. So
That's
I'm doing a
correct.
weight training for him. And see, apart from the tracking, we have various other work to do in a daily life. I'm the
That's
only one who is earning in my family, so I have to focus on my professional life. They don't bother what you are doing. Everybody
that's
will
true.
appreciate with the output. It's not what you are trying for, right? And then he has his therapies. I have to take him for a physical training. I'm doing parallelly with him when he's going on a physical training. So we are trying, exploring. There is nothing like the checklist, or there is nothing like the predefined output. It's like 1 + 1 is 2, so it's like 2. हाँ ऐसा ही होना चाहिए. No, it will vary. We are trying our best, and of course we are doing it for the whole community, society, and of course for the India. You can see the flag of India at my back, and I'm telling Avnish, you have to hold this flag at the Mount Everest. That's only dream. बस और कुछ नहीं चाहिए हमें.
That is
with a
so
smile, of course.
that is so beautiful, and you've said it so well, Aditya. This said, definitely a very huge, load of best wishes coming your way from, I'm sure, not just from Team Pragya, but from all our viewers present here today across all the channels that we are streaming on right now. And it's been a pleasure talking to both of you. To all our audience here today, please do visit the link that you shared in the chat, or you can visit pragnaa.com. That's pragnaa.com, and go to our resources tab, and you can find all the details about Aditya's trek with Avnish. Please do, contribute and do your bit to help Aditya achieve what he's trying to achieve, because what he's doing is not just for himself or his child, but it's for everybody in this world, and it's a ray of hope that he's providing to a lot of people with special needs. अशोक जी, आपसे बात करके बहुत अच्छा लगा हमें आज, and Aditya, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Wishing you all the very best, and we do hope to see a lot of videos as and when you can keep sharing it with us. From the Everest, if and when you can, we'll be more than delighted to watch how your trek is going on with Avnish. And I would recommend that our viewers please do check out Aditya's pages Life with Avnish, which is there on Facebook as well as on Instagram. And you can watch this wonderful journey that this parent and child have been chronicling over the years. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you, Ashok ji. And
Thank you.
look forward to a great weekend. Do check out a lot of lovely musical events coming up on iAsia News Music all through today and tomorrow. And have a fabulous weekend ahead. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.